Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Coffee with Kem and Hills.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is recovered from whatever festivities.
Whether it was just staying up late to watch the fireworks or
whatever it may be.
Enjoying.
Maybe you were winding down early this week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We know I wasn't, unfortunately, but my husband was.
So there you go.
3 martinis in last night, I'd say. He's really into the martinis lately.
What kind?
He's dirty. He's into the dirty martini.
I am a huge fan of a dirty martini.
Me too.
The dirtier the better.
Agree.
But also after having Cheeky on, I'm obsessed with doing my own espresso martinis.
Have you been doing it?
Yeah, it's
That's
so
amazing.
easy.
Yeah, and then you get like
And it's so yummy.
The buzz of like, you know, I don't know if it's good for your health, like the upper combined with the downer. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. I'm into it.
Oh yeah, that was good. And like
So good.
the non-alcoholic version that she made me was like, it was so good. Yeah, I was really into that.
They were quite
Yeah,
tasty.
y'all gotta try it. Gotta get on board with that. But yeah, but dirty martinis have always been kind of my go-to. After shows, when I was in Wicked, I would sometimes walk home from the show, which was located, the theater's on 50th Street and Broadway, and I lived on 90th Street. I would walk all the way up 90th Street, but I'd like pop in a bar and I'd order a dirty martini like on the way home. I loved it.
Nice.
It was my thing.
Gin or vodka?
Vodka.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
And I don't understand a gin martini.
And you have
no offense.
I
but
completely agree. It like changed it.
Not my jam.
Yeah.
I'll take a gin gimlet sometimes.
Totally.
But like
Yep.
martinis, I want vodka.
With a blue cheese olive.
Oh yeah. Like at a steakhouse when you get a blue cheese olive martini.
Oh my gosh, it has to.
So
It
good.
has to.
Is that what you do at home? Like you guys have the blue cheese olives?
We
to
have
do it?
before for sure.
All right.
Because it like gets into the drink, you know, it sort of absorbs into the drink and.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
Now I'm craving it.
dirty martinis are terrible, and nobody needs to be having them.
Yeah, nobody wants that. It's horrible. It's horrible. Or espresso martinis. What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
right? Exactly.
It's so early in the day for this. Moving forward, we've got some hot topics.
Hot topic.
I took it down a key, as you can tell, because it is early. Hot topics. It was lower today. It's early.
Still sounded great.
Cut me some slack. So, bidding wars overheated the home buyer market. Now they're coming for renters. This is from the Wall Street Journal.
Yes.
I'm not surprised by this. I just didn't know it was a thing. Like, you know about it in like buying a home.
Right.
All about it in buying a home. But I did not know it was a thing in the rental market as well, or could be.
Yeah, so it's funny. I was like, I'm surprised that this is back. It was something, 10 years ago now in San Francisco when I was looking to change apartments. It was similar to this sort of situation where people would come to the open houses. They would have everything filled out. They would have a letter filled out about how great they were. They would have recommendations. They would have the check already filled out for the deposit.
Oh my gosh.
Plus some.
Yeah.
And they would offer over rental price. And I saw, I think 30 something properties in San Francisco when I was looking to move. And then ended up moving to Oakland because like all the things in my price bracket at that time were like low level, a window this big, a closet this big.
Yeah.
So I moved to Oakland and I had floor to ceiling windows right on Lake Merritt.
That's one way to like ride out the wave.
Yeah, a huge walk-in closet. It was great.
I mean, I can't believe I've not faced this in New York because I've been renting for so long. And I've never encountered a bidding war or even like considered that would be a thing, which is weird because you think in Manhattan it would be a thing all the time, really.
Well, but I feel like in Manhattan you have like brokers who help you through the process, right?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it's probably different. In San Francisco, it's like not a thing.
Right. You just kind of
you do it yourself.
You show up. And
it's a wild, wild west out there, people.
It's a wild, wild west. But apparently, right now, there's a lot of high earning applicants there because they're waiting out this crazy market for housing. So
For buying a house.
For buying a house, and they're turning to renting, and they're just outbidding people, which is so unfair.
Right.
That would drive me crazy. I would be so annoyed.
Yeah, the average rental unit is now going for $2,000 a month.
That's the average.
Which is the average, which is crazy pants.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have to think of, there's so many families, there's so many people who can't even afford that $2,000 a month.
Totally.
And that's just devastating.
I know. It is crazy. Like the housing rental market right now is absolutely nuts. So I mean, we talk about it all the time with like the market, like buying a home, first time home buyers. It's just not
feasible for a lot of people. Yeah.
No, and like the competition is so high and inventory is so low, and I'm sure like that's what's happening now with rental properties too. It's just so many people trying to get at one unit.
Well, and I know we talked about how last year there were over 101 million single-family home projects in the pipeline for construction. But this article did point out that with higher interest rates coming up, there will most likely be not as many construction projects happen because there'll be less people looking to buy a home, which then exacerbates both housing markets even more.
Oh gosh.
So, yay.
What are we going to be talking about next year? I seriously wonder what we're going to be saying. I hope it's positive. I hope it's all good. But I do wonder what the fallout of all of this madness is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's, a lot of, professionals like, that are projecting their thoughts on it and everything. And I feel like we've heard some positive things that like it should balance itself out, for hitting a real crash. But we'll see. I don't know.
It's crazy.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more hot topics. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you have your second cup of coffee.
This one's a doozy, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
I learned some things reading this article.
Totally. So updating your estate plan. Don't make these top mistakes. This is from Kiplinger. Do not make these top mistakes.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Number one, focusing on updating a will or trust, but forgetting to update ancillary documents.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's like, don't forget, and I think this totally makes sense, don't forget to consider your power of attorney healthcare directives or nominations of guardians, because things could totally change over the years.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not to be morbid, but say you have your sister, right, as your power of attorney, and they've passed away, and you haven't updated that. Now what?
Right.
So you just have to make sure. And also, you might just change your mind, too. Like, over time, sometimes you're like, I don't...
Yeah, maybe that person isn't the right person for this job anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's covering all, like, really go in and cover all bases of your will or trust.
Especially if you're taking the time to go in to update your will or trust as things change. Make sure you're updating all pieces of it because
it's annoying to have to do anyway.
Right.
It'd be even more annoying if then like something happens and you're like, I didn't even do it all.
And you're not there necessarily to pick up the pieces. So
yeah, so your ghost will be like, oh. Oh, for nothing. Number two. Using flawed reasoning when selecting agents to act on your behalf. I thought this was interesting. So many people will maybe appoint like all of their children.
Right,
or
and
like,
giving it to all of their children versus focusing on one.
Right, or just based on, we'll just give it to our eldest. You know what I mean? I feel like that happens too. But you really should look at who is best for that job. Location is a huge thing. Somebody that is, conveniently located to where you are and also has the time, to do what they would need to do to help you out. Yeah. That's huge to consider. And like, examples are like, if you have like one kid that's a lawyer or in law school or something like that, you know what I mean? And has like 6 children at home. Right. That's probably not a good candidate, even though, they would
be smart enough and
to be able to execute all of these things.
But they might not have the time
or
be able to spend the inclination to spend on, dealing out your estate. Whereas if you have another child or a family friend who is either retired or maybe a school teacher who only works part-time, they might have a little bit more leeway in their schedule.
I think that's good, like considering how it's going to impact that person's life as well. So if you can think of somebody that just has that time available to them to help you, then, I think that's better for everyone.
And I think also taking into consider that person's personality too. Like, your lawyer child might be a little bit more combative and
totally.
Just saying, I don't know. Maybe that's a generalization, but
hey. It's true.
So, maybe just making sure that person has the right personality to take on this role as well.
Totally. I liked that one. I thought that was a good, because I do feel like a lot of people sort of just naturally do that. They'll be like, oh, I'll just give it to the oldest child.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like ranking. It's like the biggest bedroom. Well, I'll just give it to them.
Right.
I'm a younger sibling. I don't have any feelings of resentment towards that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
First daddy-daughter dance went to her. Why? Because she was older. Heartbroken. I'll never forget it.
But was there opportunity for you to go to the dance?
I got to go the next year.
Okay, so it wasn't like that they chose it. It was that's the year that you went for school.
Totally, and I can reason with it in my adult mind now, but as a child, it was like, you chose over me. It was it was painful.
I don't want to laugh at your pain, but it's a very interesting way to look at it. My sister also went to the first father-daughter dance, and I was like, cool, good for you.
Oh, see, well, yeah. I'm a Cancer. I was a very sensitive little crab. Yeah, no reasoning, just feelings, you know what I mean? Other Cancers know what I mean. It's a hard life as a Cancer. All right, number 3. Not reviewing your financial accounts and investments in conjunction with updating your estate plan. I mean, I say duh, but...
Right, but duh.
I don't know how much I need to say about that.
I think it's interesting, especially if you're going to the trouble of updating your will or trust and all the ancillary things there, and you're working with an attorney.
But you don't update your finances.
Then also making sure that you're working with a financial advisor and maybe you're already working with somebody and you check in with them every year, so it's not a thing that you really need to do specifically for this, but like making sure that you're just doing both things,
right?
So that they're in conjunction versus wildly apart from each other.
Totally, right. I think that was kind of like the main message there was consult your financial advisor so that you can make sure that you have everything in order that's up to date and, implement that into your will or trust.
Right.
And we always come back to that, don't we?
And if you have a trust set up, making sure that any accounts that aren't within that trust have the right beneficiary designated, because otherwise those accounts will still go to probate even if you have a trust set up.
Right. Got your back.
Yeah.
Got your back.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, forgetting to update an estate plan when moving to another state. Yeah, so, okay.
It doesn't mean that your estate plan won't be legally valid.
Right.
It just means that it's harder because your new state might have slightly different ways of dealing with things. And also if, you might have better benefits, or there just might be some differences between those two states. And if you've moved permanently, there's no reason to keep...
It just might overcomplicate things. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it just helps
Simplify.
to update it to the state that you're in to simplify everything.
Yep.
Basically. Number 5, forgetting to create an asset cheat sheet or failing to keep that list updated. An asset cheat sheet. This is really important.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought of it.
Well, we've talked about having a password cheat sheet for all your different online accounts and all that jazz.
Totally.
But this is an asset cheat sheet.
Yes.
For all the different, because real estate they talk about is pretty easy to find. You can figure out how to find those assets. But there's so many different accounts people have, and you probably don't have all of your financial accounts with one bank or one fiduciary. Like
Yeah,
you
very
probably have
unlikely.
it all over the place. So
Totally.
making sure you have an account of that. And then also if you're keeping it current, you're probably making sure that it's covered under your trust.
Absolutely. And it helps avoid your beneficiaries having to go on a treasure hunt to find all of these assets as well. So it's just, again, simplifying things for the people you love in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, see here, we're here giving you all the good advice.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks to Kiplinger.
Thank you, Kiplinger. We love you. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back to talk about the shows airing today on ROI TV. Welcome back, everyone. Just your friendly reminder not to miss today's episodes of Cunningham Legal, Mortgage Q&A with AJ, Medicare School, and Elder Needs Law. You can see them all on ROI TV. Where at exactly, Hillary?
On your Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, or on your iPad or Android device.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us again on another episode of Coffee with Kem and Hills. We'll see you tomorrow with another big old cup of coffee.